Hello and welcome to Poetry Corner. Now we're going to have a very whimsical time now. Beth has chosen Spike Milligan and he wrote quite a few poems, didn't he? And very amusing ones. Beth has just given me one to read out later, so I'll do my best to do justice to it. But I'd love to see your selection, Beth. Yeah. And welcome here today.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to give the audience a bit of context to Spike Milligan. He was born, I'm sure most of you know, 16th of April 1918, and he died 12 years ago in 2002. Spike Milligan, born Terence Allen Milligan, he was a comedian, writer, musician, poet, playwright, soldier and actor of Irish parentage dual English-Irish nationality. His life was spent mostly in British India where he was born, but actually the most part of his working life was spent in the UK. So I think that's quite good to give a bit of context.
Yes, yes.
And we're just going to speak about some of the poems now.
Yes, lovely. And of course he was with the Goons, wasn't he?
Which is the Goon Show.
Yes, a bit before your time.
A bit before my time.
You missed a lot. They were good. So, would you like to start or would you like me to try the poem that you've given me?
I'm going to start with Maverick.
Right.
And this is one of the poems that I think is very funny and very comical.
Right.
Maverick prowls had rumbling bows that thundered in the night. It shook the bedrooms all around and gave the folks a fright. The doctor called, he was appalled, when through his stethoscope he heard the sound of a baying hound and the acrid smell of smoke. Was there a cure? The higher the fewer, the learned doctor said. Then turned poor Maverick inside out and stood him on his head. Just as though you've been and caught an Asiatic flu. You mustn't go near dogs, I fear, unless they come near you. Poor Maverick cried, he went cross-eyed, his legs went green and blue. The doctor hit him with a club and charged him 1 and 2. And so, my friend, this is the end. A warning to the few. Stay clear of doctors to the end or they'll get rid of you. So,
He definitely had a turn of phrase.
Yeah, I think the beginning's really funny.
Yeah.
Keep away from doctors. You don't want to be near them if you're not feeling very well. Even though, oh, it's so funny. I think that thundered in the night. It shook the bedrooms all around.
It's quite graphic, you could imagine.
He has a way with words, to be sure.
He does have a way with words. Would you like me to try this one?
Yeah.
That you've just given me. It's called, excuse the glasses, it's called Jumbo Jet. I saw a little elephant standing in my garden. I said, "You don't belong in here." He said, "I beg your pardon." I said, this place is England. What are you doing here?" He said, "Ah, then I must be lost." And then, oh dear, I should be back in Africa on Serengeti Plain. Pray, where is the nearest station where I can catch a train? He caught the bus to Finchley and then to Mincing Lane and over the embankment where he got lost again. The police, they put him in a cell, but he was far too small. But it was far too small. So they tied him to a lamppost and he slept against the wall. But as the policeman lay sleeping by the twinkling light of dawn, the lamppost and the wall were there, but the elephant was gone.
Gone.
So if you see an elephant in a jumbo jet, you can be sure that Africa's the place he's trying to get. By Spike Milligan.
Wow.
Like
that is so funny.
Thank you.
I think tied up against the wall was funny, and the postman and...
Yes, he's definitely had a turn of phrase.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this one, called On the Ning Nang Nong, which I'm sure everyone's heard of before, was written in 1968. On the Ning Nang Nong, where the cows go bong, and the monkeys all say boo, there's a nong nang ning, where the trees go ping, and the teapots jibber jabber jew. on the ning nang, on the nong ning nang. All the mice go clang, and you just can't catch 'em when they do. So it's ning nang nong, cows go bong. Nong nang ning, trees go ping. Nong ning nang, the mice go clang. What a noisy place to belong is the ning nang nong.
Goodness.
Wow.
That
It's
takes
quite
a bit of
tongue
reading.
twister, because it's a real tongue twister, that one, because you can, when you're reading it, you can mix up nang and ning and nong, and that's quite funny.
Best to be sober.
Yes. Okay, so this is a really short poem. It's 4 lines, and it's talking about one of Shakespeare's poems, but it's kind of satirising it a little bit.
It's a Milligan version.
Yeah, Milligan version.
Yeah.
Said Hamlet to Ophelia, "I'll draw a sketch of thee. What kind of pencil shall I use? To be or not to be?" So to be, as in the to be of the pencil, and to be.
That was quite clever.
I thought that was really clever. This is called Granny Spike by Milligan. Through every nook and every cranny, the wind blew in a poor old granny. Around her knees, into each into each ear, and up nose as well, I fear. All through the night the wind grew worse, it nearly made the vicar curse. The top had fallen off the steeple, just missing him and other people. It blew on man, it blew on beast, it blew on nun, it blew on priest, it blew the wig off Auntie Fanny, but most of all, it blew on Granny.
Very sweet. He's definitely got a way with words.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's used lots of exclamation marks, and he's tried to use some rhyming couplets like cranny, granny. I thought that said car, but it's actually into each ear. I thought that was quite amusing.
I can hear his voice doing it. Having heard him over the years, I could hear him reciting that. Do you know what? I think we've run out of time again. We could go on, couldn't we?
I was enjoying myself so much with all the poems.
Well, it's nice to have a good smile, isn't it? They're very amusing. So thank you very much. And thank you very much for being with us on Poetry Corner. And see us again next week. We'll look forward to seeing Beth again. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.